Alright, how's it going today? I'm going to be showing you guys who's ever reviewing this. There might be 2 viewers, myself, and maybe one other person. Anyways, Amazon dash button doorbell. So check it out. Go to dash button devices on your phone. Should already have the dash button in your hand when you're doing this. This is a pretty quick setup. So you do agree, get started, all of that you're seeing here. Have your Wi-Fi password available. So at this point, nothing's been done with the Amazon dash button. You get it linked, set up. I'm not going to go through the whole process, but you go all the way up to the point that you do not select a Gatorade or whatever type of item that you got the dash for. You do not want to go and select that. So what you also want to do is turn off your notifications so that every time the dash button is pushed and is acting as a doorbell for you, that it's not going to bump your phone. I got like 50 of these while I was testing the button out throughout the experiments. Anyways, alright, so here we have the things that you're going to need: a desktop, computer, preferably Wireshark. You got your Amazon dash button with you, so we'll jump right into it. Go to Wireshark. Can't even see the URL, but search Google Wireshark, download whatever bit that you need for your computer. I'm not doing a tutorial today for Mac, so I apologize about that. So if you're not familiar with Wireshark, which you don't have to be, all you need to do is know to type in ARP up at the top right there where I was showing on the left hand side of the screen. Sorry, getting a little distracted. Anyways, so you'll see right here I have these 2 connections, Wi-Fi 3, which isn't active right there, and the local area connection. You can also see too that typing ARP in that filter in the middle isn't working, so you're going to actually need it to be up at the top when you choose it, and then hit that blue button right there that looks the shark fin, and that's going to activate it. I'm not doing it today because I don't want all of you hackers out there to be trying to hit up my network. So but I am going to show you a image just so that you can get an idea of what you're looking for when you have that Amazon dash button. At this point, again, we've already connected it to our Wi-Fi, but we haven't made any purchases with it or anything like that. You just connected it to your Wi-Fi. So this first image that pops up kind of shows you what Wireshark looks like. This isn't what I was looking for though, so we're going to skip over to the next image. When you're running Wireshark, you're going to be tapping the button, the Amazon dash button, and you're going to look for something right here where it says Amazon TE in that ARP, filter. So it's going to show you the Ethernet right here. You can see the mind blank right now, the MAC address for the Amazon dash button, and then you're also going to be able to find out from this, if you do a little drop down, do the drop downs on the arrows, you're going to be able to find the IP address that it also connected to as well. So it'll be telling you that. So those are the 2 pieces of information that you need to either write down, just record. So have those on hand for later on. All right. So next up, I'm going to take you guys over to IFTTT. I always get this messed up. Anyways, you guys are going to need an account if you don't already have one. IFTTT is great. I'm kind of showing you here just some of the things that you can do with it. I wasn't finding what I was looking for when I was typing it at first. I can type. I spelled wetter instead of weather. Weather. Anyways, so what this can do, the first introduction that I had to IFTTT was with weather. So if, say, you want a notification if it's going to be raining the following day or if it's going to be over 100 degrees, you can say, if it's going to be this hot, then send me a text message. And so it can integrate with like weather services. It can integrate with SMS. What you're going to want to have it done for this project is SMS activated and the Maker channel. So, all right. Connect to Maker, kind of showing you guys here on the incognito, just because I don't want you guys seeing my URL, because if I gave you guys my URL, then I'm sure that I would be, instead of getting doorbell rings, I would be getting random pings all of the time from the different people testing it out. So I have it cut off right now, but this is kind of what you're going to see with the maker channel, is that it's going to give you a unique key for your IFTTT account. So IFTTT URL right there, you are going to copy and paste that into a new tab in order to have this image show up, which then will say event, whatever event you are going to name it. You could name it bird, the event bird, but you would need to name it that in the IFTTT maker account. And so whenever it was that URL /bird/ your unique code, it would trigger whatever you want. So SMS. So I have it as button pressed instead of bird. I don't know. That was a weird choice of example. Anyways, so I have it as button pressed for this doorbell event, right? So what you can do with this button pressed when you have that in the URL is that you say this button pressed, and then below you would say, okay, it's going to trigger an email or an SMS. And so that kind of had thrown me off when I was doing this. So that's why I'm going into a little bit more detail with that. Anyways, so what's next? Yes, it's just, as I'm showing you right here with this, is that SMS was the way that I chose to set it up. I actually think I used Gmail, but I do get a text message from it as well too. So whatever you would like to trigger from that. That long thread. All right. So going over here, sorry, I diverged a little bit on that. Anyways, this is 57808 gets all the credit for this this program, because this is what I'm using, his program, which is on Instructables. You will need an Instructables account in order to see the full instructions just listed out like this. And it's just great to have an account with his website. They have a lot of really cool things on here. So anyways, go to their GitHub account. I think I listed out, and if I didn't, then I will list out the Instructables URL in the notes or on the comments in here on the overview. So you're going to download their GitHub from the desktop, their clone, their download, and so you are going to extract it into whatever folder you want. All right, anyways, so I'm extracting that folder. So you'll see Amazon dash button hack master. This is the file that this is the zip that I got from that GitHub account. So kind of, I think I got lost here when I was doing this a little bit. Anyways, you're gonna go into bin, and then go into that folder, go into bin, and then you'll see all of the files that are available for use. So I'm using the most recent one. You'll see the date, it's 16/07/15 for July 15th. July 15th, 2016. So run the program. What it's going to do, you see right next to the mouse, it's showing the 10. It's scrolling through all of the IP addresses available that it's looking for, right? And so let's see, what am I doing now? Oh, so it's trying to find the Amazon dash button. I'm not actually pushing the Amazon dash button at this time, so it's not going to find anything. As you can see, it said, this. I actually used the previous one because I was clicking around, just trying to get it to work. And so I used the previous one. Both of those work, the 16/07/11 or the 15th. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm saying that this took me multiple attempts to try. So don't just get dissuaded from one failed attempt. All right. So what this does is it looks for the Amazon dash button. When it finds the Amazon dash button, it's going to ask you, what do you want to run when this dash button is hit? So it will grab that IP address that the dash button is connected to, and then it'll say, okay, from now on, I know that this is the IP address for that dash button. What do you want me to do? And so as you can see here, I'm putting this maker file that I created, a batch file that I created. So as you can see right here, it's an abbreviated maker channel. Again, I didn't put my full one, but I have just a simple URL. It says the button pressed and it says start. And so this batch file, you just create this in a notepad, and a batch file is simply a note with the .bat saved at the end of it. So when you're saving that note, say maker.bat, and then it will automatically save it as a batch file. And so then what I selected when that Amazon Dash Discovery button is chosen is to start that batch file. So when the so I'm typing it out right here. So when that button is pressed, the batch file is triggered, and so it knows to go to that URL. So whatever your default browser is it's going to open up that in that browser, it's going to open up that URL. So you're kind of seeing things tying back together here with the IFTTT, going to the URL, it's sending that URL, triggering an SMS or an email, whatever you have it set up to do. So all right, next, let's see. Okay, so the next thing that I have right here is the change directory. Maybe I'm not staying on that. Why am I not staying on that? Oh, I think this is the part that I was going to be talking about, the bat file. As you can see, I don't have .bat at the end of it right now, but it already says maker.bat exists. And so what I'm going to do is just create a different one so that you guys can see that you need that maker1.bat. I almost be bat. And so I'm going to save it, and then there'll be a different one just so that you have that reference and everything later on in the video. So anyways, what you're going to want to do is kind of going back to that change directory note that I was on for just a moment, and I'll bring that back up again shortly, is that a batch file, this is what a batch file is for those of you that are curious. You can Google it too. Kind of went through this pretty quickly. But you are going to want to have another batch file available for startup as well. So, and we'll get into that in just a second. You can see these both, instead of just them being note files, they are the .bat, the symbol for that. All right, Amazon V2, this one that anyways, started getting sidetracked, but we'll go into this Amazon V2 button in just a second. So the Xfinity, I'm opening up my Xfinity right now. You guys can see admin, don't have the default password, don't try to hack my internet. But what you are going to need to do, whatever your router is, whether it's Xfinity, whether it's a Netgear, Linksys, whatever, you are going to need to go into your connected devices, such as I have here, or wherever you have it, and you are going to need to make that dash button a reserved IP address. And you have the MAC address, you have the IP address that it connected through before, so it should be in the previously connected, and if not, then you can enter in that information and name it. And so I named mine, I was just using that Chromecast as an example, but I named mine dash button, and now whenever it connects to the network, it always goes to the IP address. Okay, going into this a little bit more about how to make programs start up with the computer for Windows. So you're going to see me click on this Amazon V2 button a little bit. So what it says is you need the button IP address, which you're going to have from Wireshark or from from the previous Amazon button discovery press, and then the next thing that you're going to need is the program to launch. So as you saw earlier, I copied that maker button into the same directory, the same folder as all of those other buttons, just for ease of access, and it simply is that start, that URL batch file. So the thing is that there is another note that you will need, or another batch file, and that's what we're going to be looking at right here is you're creating a startup batch file. You're going to do that run.shell, and in this batch file that you're creating, you're going to have it say change directory to wherever you have this this Amazon V2 button, and then you are going to put run the Amazon V2 button. So it's change directory change the directory to that folder, and then Amazon V2 starts, and so you put in the IP address and the batch file that you want to run, which is our maker.bat for me, which is going to that URL, and then you are set for that. Let's see, what else am I forgetting? Let's see. Nothing that I can think of right now. Post any comments or questions that you have below, and I will definitely get back to you. It is pretty straightforward. I ended up making this 15 minutes just because my video editing skills kind of are not up to par. But anyways, so yes, check it out, and hopefully this was helpful for someone else attempting to make their own Amazon Dash doorbell. So yeah, enjoy.